This is the Z Flip 6 that I've been using for a whole year, and that sound you just heard is coming from the glass itself. And at this point you should probably be worried, but not because of the sounds coming from the glass. The problem is One UI 7's brick update. The One UI 7 versions released for the Flip specifically are causing some glitches that could end up costing you a lot of money. So in this video, let's break down what 1 year of owning the Z Flip 6 has looked like and cost. That's Galaxy AI. Specifically, I use it to summarize lectures from class that my mandem recorded, and I have it read the summaries back to me as a kind of review for myself so that I can revisit the content and remember it better. So the Z Flip 6 is still my daily and has been for an entire year, but there are some glaring issues that Samsung needs to work on. Overall, and compared to the Z Flip 3, 4, and 5, the build quality has been pretty lacking. For example, it's the first time I've had the screen protector applied by the factory start peeling off from the center of the screen. So you can clearly see air bubbles start to form at the center of the crease, and you've already seen how the outside screen is starting to lift off of the display itself due to a bloating battery. Now, both of these build quality issues don't impact the functionality, but honestly, for a phone that costs more than $1,000 that's already 3 generations in, this should not be happening at all. 1 year into using the Z Flip 6 as a student and a content creator, there have been some high points as well. For one, it flips. For one, it finally holds a charge really well. So from the moment I wake up, go to classes or work, in lectures, and even after I'm done work and I'm just relaxing at the end of the day, it still has juice left over. And another high point and seriously underrated feature of the Z Flip 6 is just its portability. The fact that I can get most things done on this outer display without having to flip the display open, like checking my email, replying to WhatsApps, checking notifications, and using Samsung Pay or my student ID, means that there's way less chance of me opening it up, going through social media, and starting to waste my time, doom scrolling on TikTok. And using the outer display means I'm using the battery less, which again helps make sure I can use this phone for a whole day. Now, I mentioned that One UI 7 is causing issues, and literally it's ruining this phone. And before we get into the One UI 7 issues and the brick update, if you like the wallpapers, they're free. You're welcome. And all you gotta do to get them is subscribe, which is free as well. You're welcome. Also, follow the Instagram, and on Instagram, DM ZF6 wallpapers, and that's it. So that'll be running for a limited time, and it really helps the channel, and I appreciate every single one of you. All right, let's talk about some bugs. Samsung knows that these issues are real and are actively working right now to get them fixed. Still, the fact that One UI 7 had already been out for about 6 months before we got it on the Flips, which is plenty of time for testing, and we still had such a bugged version of the update, really doesn't sit right with me at all. So issues include screen off disabling. When you get a notification, the screen turns on. That's normal. And it also is normal for the screen to turn off maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds later, except it doesn't. That's the problem. Once the outer screen turns on, it just sits there on the entire time. And that eats your battery when you don't realize it's been on for an hour or more. Comment down below if you've noticed this happening with your device as well. Another issue, notifications are not passing on for specific apps, and the ones I noticed are Airbnb, WhatsApp for like 5 weeks, YouTube Studio, and Outlook. Now imagine you get a booking request for an Airbnb unit and you get no notification. So now you lose a booking. And the same could happen if you're using Outlook as your main email provider. Now, like I said, Samsung is fixing these one by one, and one night, for no reason at all, I didn't do an update, my notification settings did not change, Airbnb was back. This is after I had already moved to my S23 Ultra as my backup phone, which has the One UI 7 update since the beginning and had no bugs whatsoever. And if you are wondering, I've lost 3 bookings because of this notification issue, which total about 3,400 CAD. That's a lot of money, okay? That's like 1,700 jalapeno mac and cheese. I could have bought a house in Chicago, or possibly paid for 2 months of healthcare in the US. So overall, while I still love the Flips, specifically the Z Flip 6 has been a heartbreak. Sure, there were some serious improvements over the Z Flip 5, battery being the most noticeable. But of course, the build quality with the new boxy design, the square edges, and a much sleeker finish adds to the overall improvement. And another improvement that is a bit undermined the dust resistance. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's no noticeable difference in the amount of dust that's finding its way behind the screen, judging solely of the sound that you get. Just like the Z Flip 3, 4, and 5, this is also making crunching sounds 1 year in. And I think it's safe to say that for now, with all Samsung Flip devices, dust will still be able to find its way behind the display, and you're going to end up with these crunching noises, which come and go, get louder, get quieter, it's all happening. That being said, the improved dust resistance has let much less dust collect around the inside bezels, around the crease, and that's the improvement that these dust resistance measures have made. There's just simply less dust that's collecting in the display area when you close up. But it doesn't seem to make any difference when it comes to getting behind the screen or, you know, the crunching noises. Now, with everything I've talked about my experience, I haven't even talked about the fact that the digitizer died twice. I had to get virtually every single internal component replaced twice, and I'm still having the software and dust issues. So again, while I love the flips, I love the concept, the fact is in 2025 we have options. There is serious competition now, and that means things like build quality should improve significantly faster. And we've already seen this in effect as well. The Google Fold has already beat Samsung Folds in sales and ratings, of course. Motorola is coming after the top spot in the flip arena, and I honestly think they'll make it happen, which is actually really exciting. I might end up buying the Razr Flip this year. I don't know. Let me know what you guys want to see in the comment section below. So to conclude, the Z Flip 6 has been a great sidekick. Not the best sidekick though compared to all the other flagships I've owned, but certainly one that I can really adore and love despite its glaring flaws. And even after using flip devices for about 5 years now, I still love flipping them, even though sometimes it's super annoying when you have groceries in your hand or are busy with other cultural content. But again, despite the imperfections, I really love flipping. Maybe it's the nostalgia. I was like 5 when people were using flip phones, and the Blackberries were, you know, all the fuss, and I thought they were the coolest things ever. Even though BlackBerry was starting to move away from flipping, man, that era was just pretty damn cool. So while I do plan on getting another flip this year when it rolls out in July, it might not be the Z Flip 7. And if you have the Z Flip 5 or the Z Flip 4 or even the Z Flip 3, I would not recommend buying the Z Flip 6 if you find it on a cheaper deal before the Z Flip 7 comes out. I do recommend going straight for the Z Flip 7 and skipping the 6. That's all for the 1 year update. If you enjoyed, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, and until next time, take it easy. Peace. Now, usually I would be outside right now. I would be doing this on the track, you know, doing my morning run, as you know, but it is 100 degrees outside right now. Now I know some of you all are like, shh, that's chilly, but for me, you know, the body can't handle that. I'm a Toronto man. We're used to the cold. I enjoy the cold actually. This is just incredibly hot. Okay, so I'm inside. I turned the AC off so the mic wouldn't, you know, pick up the AC, but I am burning. I am sweating. So back to the studio.